Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Heaven on Earth. I'm Michael, the Leo Mystic, and this is where I channel the sacred guidance for this astrological week of the 21st of September until the 27th. And welcome to the autumn equinox. I mean, it's happening on Tuesday, the 22nd of September at 3:30 p.m. exact in 48 seconds. If you really want to be secure. Sure. So, it's not happening on the 21st as a lot of people think. The sun really enters into Libra Tuesday. And so what does this mean? And it's quite an event. And it's an event that's going to be really crucial and important to look at, because every time, the sun enters Libra, that is why Libra, by the way, is a balance. It's the judgment, if you will, of all those 6 months since the sun came up into the light, and what have we worked with, and what are we going to take down into the dark, because that is what is happening. If you take a circle of 360 degrees, then the upper part, 180 degrees, is where, the light shines, the summer is, the spring is, and, everything grows, and people have a lot of energy, and a lot of work gets done, and fun, and play, So there's a lot of information and emotions being gathered into the open. It's like conscious. And now we're going into the dark realm, into the subconscious, into taking it all in, gently going within. And these are the cycles of going without and within. And so that's why, by the way, they used to call winter the hell. That's why Saturn and Satan, that's where that comes from. Because Saturn rules Capricorn. And Capricorn is, when the sun is at its lowest point, which is, what the 21st of December, 22nd, until the 25th of December is. The sun is really for 4 days at its lowest point. And that's where there are a lot of people used to die because of, hunger and famine and, cold and inferno, hell, invierno, or inverno in Italiano. So inferno, right, in Italiano. And so this is an interesting point where we're it's a judgment, really. The judgment of, well, what are we going to take with? And every time that happens, we can cast a chart of those whole 6 months. So we have to look at that chart. And the sun is in Libra. Mercury is in Libra, and Mercury is making positive aspects to the North Node and the South Node, and a hard aspect to Pluto. Venus, which is ruled by Libra, is in Leo. And then we got Mars retrograde in Aries, pointing, every retrograde planet points to Libra, or to its opposite point, in this case being Libra. So we have to take into account all these elements. And so what does that mean? Well, it definitely means that relationships, right, at the very basis, are very important. This is, if you think about it, it's where, everybody goes out and the plants grow, and, there's a lot of fruits that in Virgo season, we harvest, and vegetables, and now it's really a time to party, to celebrate, to, honor all the fruits and beautiful gifts that we've been given by Mother Earth and the Father Son. And to celebrate that together, that's what Libra is, going into a relationship with someone. And so this is organizing a party. And that's kind of the feel. And if you've noticed, there's a lot of impressions, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of meetings, there's a lot of mental activity, because Mercury has been in Libra for almost 2 weeks. So we're ahead thinking of relationships and thinking about what will the future bring. And in its deeper essence, Libra is really about what is my personal objectivity towards myself? What am I learning about myself through the other? Because everyone is a mirror. And with that Mars retrograde, it's really about being aware of what am I initiating, or what have I been, because it's retrograde, initiating those past, I would say 2-3 months. And how has that impacted the other person? And how can I now reconsider how I go forth in life? Let me give you a personal example. You know, I'm very much fire. I have Moon in Aries, Jupiter in Aries, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars in Leo, you know, and so there's a lot of fire to what I do. And so it is easy for me to come from the third chakra, from the like ego, like, whoa. And at the Kundalini yoga retreat where I was chanting in front of the group, and a lot of people noticed that I like really took in space. And there's no problem with taking in space, because let's keep it real, there's enough space in the world for everyone. You know, and more. It's limitless. But it's really about the energy you bring. And I really learned to let the group enter my space and to merge with the group and to let it come to the fourth chakra from the heart. And it's not about, you know, what happened to me. It's about an example, how you can, you know, make it tangible in your life. The question is, you know, what actions are you taking in the world, with your relationships in general, with friends, with, you know, partners, parents? How are your actions? And how can you be more aware of the people around you in your actions? Now, the counterpart is also true, because once we enter Libra, we really have to learn to balance, and it also points towards Aries, and there have to be boundaries. It's about bringing balance. And so at a very like more deeper level, then if we go a little bit more deeper, Mercury in Libra and Sun in Libra are really about equality, justice, objectivity, and about harmonizing. Because at a very deeper level, this is what the universe is always doing. It's never completely in balance, because if that would be the case, there would be no creation possible. But it's always harmonizing. So that's what change is, by the way, you know? So it's just constantly bringing things in balance, but always taking things out of balance. And so that's what we need to learn. And that's why with a square over to Pluto, that's truly very intense, like very to the nitty-gritty, going intense, deep. In relationships, this is penetration at a physical level, but also at a mental, emotional level. So we're penetrating people deeply into how justified is this, that you were saying that. And so we could become a little bit too intense into, you know, making things beautiful and harmonizing stuff and cleaning shit up. Like we just cleanse it. Virgo was about cleaning up and really organizing shit. And now Libra is really about, this is for you and that is for you. And, you know, we got to make sure it stays equal. But that's what we need to learn here in relationships. And so then knowing that Venus is in Leo, there is a very huge ego aspect to it at a ego level. This is about me. Come on, man. Like, I want my life to be in perfect balance here. I've been working my ass off at a very, like, spiritual level. This is coming from the heart. We can create solutions in relationships. There's actually a lot of healing that can be done in relationships. When you truly, Libra, listen objectively, neutrally, and if you've done the work in Virgo and you've listened to the forecast, then you knew that, Virgo is about developing a neutral mind. And the ultimate neutrality, in a sense, is balance, is harmony, and is, objectivity. With that Leo aspect, there's a little bit of subjectivity introduced into it. And so it could be too egotistical. And especially if then, Venus is making a yod over to Neptune in Pisces and Jupiter in Capricorn. And now that becomes interesting, because now we're bringing in the institutions, we're bringing in authority, we're bringing in business relationships, work. So, in terms of like at your work, things could become very intense. And there could be confrontations with people at work. And we're needing to learn to bring balance in work. So, especially because we've got a whole new environment, on the, all via Zoom, and people are becoming more digitalized, and just the whole working environment has changed. There's a lot more people, well, let's keep it real, having more time to work because, everything goes a lot faster, but because of it, getting more work. And so now it's just like the whole landscape of working and managing, if you're a manager, it's freaking weird, because like this is letting go of control, because you don't see what your people are doing. And what are you going to expect from these people? And so that's where these intense confrontations come in. And at a very global level, this is, honestly, two things. One, the people that, are aware, becoming very justice oriented. And, we got the North Node in Gemini. So this is really in our close environment. There's a lot of dialogue going on. So how are you dealing with this? And how are you dealing with that? And I don't think this is right. And this should be right. And this is like, with that Capricornian element into it. This is the judge. This is law. And now, we're fighting for justice. Mercury squaring Pluto. This is like intense fight for justice. Why did you do this and why that? And like the why question is going to come up a lot. Like, why did you choose to do a lockdown then? Why did you choose to put masks then? Why did you choose to put on blah, 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 blah. But Libra is all about making things beautiful. And with Leo, and there's like a fun factor. So it is like a lot of fucking fun. And it looks pretty fucking beautiful. Like, holy shit, this new world is awesome. Jupiter and Neptune yod over to Venus in Leo. It's too beautiful, man. I don't trust this shit. It's just like and there's a trine over to the South Node in Sagittarius. This is all way too optimistic, way too like hopeful, way too out there. This is like, oh, wow. Yeah. And if you don't truly stand in your values and you come from ego, there's like people knowing how to negotiate, Libra, and they're negotiating with you. And Mercury is coming in its retrograde shadow on Thursday at the 25th degree and then goes into Scorpio. Holy shit. If that's not a message for you, then to really pay fucking attention and to look, analyze. This is truly like mental, emotional manipulation coming up. This is people like taking advantage of your over optimism, making it too beautiful. Like even like the government could like, take some rules away in exchange for, but that exchange point that might look really fucking cool is actually like the Trojan horse. I feel like this is Like there's a Trojan horse coming. That's it. And so we have to pay attention for the gifts we get. Because that Trojan horse might freaking kill us. So I'm just saying, don't become suspicious, like, too suspicious. But really in your, once, you feel like, oh my God, wow, pay attention when you get too optimistic. When it's too good to be true. Like, it's too fucking good to be true. And I mean, magic happens and miracles happen. I'm the number one, fan of that. But when there's a yacht like that with Libra season and Venus in Leo, when here's an example of what I mean. It's really something where you are blinded. Let's just keep the, very basic. I drink very rarely alcohol, and it's been so long since I've been drunk, like years, maybe even 10 years since I was drunk. But let's just say that, people are having a party and there's just like, they're super drunk, but they're having so much fun. And you're the only one that didn't drink. How many times that has happened, right? To people who don't drink. And they're just like, this is not fun, fuck this. And you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna drink a little bit. And just like you get 1, 2, and it's just like, oh, sorry, I feel fucking good. And it's like, oh, these people are having a lot of fun. Maybe I should get more. That is where things look too beautiful on the outside, and you get caught up in that. You lose your consciousness, you lose your neutral mind. This is the key. You lose the neutral mind. You lose your consciousness. You lose your awareness. You lose your authenticity, your Venus in Leo, your passion, your artistic truth, your authenticity. And you give it away, bye. And then that is going to lash back in your face big time. So this week, enjoy, have fun, yes. And pay attention for the Trojan horse. That's the message. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. Thank you so much. See you all next week. Enjoy. Happy autumn equinox. Bye-bye.